Well, hello there. Can everyone see me and hear me? Looks like we got a few people in here. Hey, Mr. Landfill's here. Awesome. He's been here for a minute. Good to see you. And Verna's here. Good to see you, Verna, as always. CDB, thank you for being here and moderating. Still here. Can everyone hear me? Can you guys see me okay? You can see and hear. Okay. I repositioned myself a little bit today. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. I've been off for a few weeks here, so thank you for coming back. That's muchly appreciated. If you're watching later or something like that, my name is Matt with Grafted Branch Homestead here. We are on our urban homestead in the Southwest Desert, where we are now learning skills and putting into practice things that hopefully we can expand upon someday later on larger piece of land. And so from our backyard urban homestead, we're practicing skills with animals, with plants, DIY, and a lot of other fun stuff. So good to see everyone. I've definitely missed seeing and talking to everyone. So the first few weeks in April are extremely busy. 3/4 of my immediate family's birthdays happen in the first 2 weeks there. And then, of course, there's 3 feasts and some other things. And so I just needed to take that little break and prioritize things. So I hope everyone understands. It's good to see you, Verna. I'm sorry I missed, I've been missing your streams, or I missed it this week. Like I said, life is just extremely busy. I really don't know how people do it. Not complaining, but between working a full-time job and having the 2 kids that are very active and trying to create the urban homestead and really build it from nothing and learn these skills and then share it all on YouTube as well is a lot, as any creator knows. So I do appreciate everyone being patient with me. Oh, Verna is saying something, so I'm going to pause here. Now, again, this is my urban homestead chat with Matt, or my urban homestead stream. It was the Quail Shack chat with Matt. That's still going to be part of it, but I'm giving a little bit more structure. And this is kind of what I'm going to talk about some tonight is, again, I'm still this year in that thing of developing direction and preparing and getting ready. And so we'll get into that a little bit tonight. But this chat is a little more free. And we got a few other people. Hey, Renegade Black Sheep, good to see you. So this stream on Saturday evening is a little more free. I'm going to hop in the comments a lot and address that, really just talk and say hi to everyone. One of my biggest weaknesses, and it's important to know your weaknesses, but is in organization by far. And so physically and mentally and everything. And so part of what I need to do in order to not get one of my second bigger weaknesses, I guess, which would be anxiety. And I think everyone fights that. But in order to not get anxious, I need to work on my organization. And that's going to help me out on YouTube a lot too. So what I've done is I've taken a little bit of the areas that I want to focus on sharing our life or our homestead here on YouTube, some bigger areas of that, and then focus on some segments in the Saturday night stream. So we'll do some brief, small little segments and chat about that. And then the idea is that I will take those segments and expand upon them in some videos throughout the week. So that's a lot said. Thanks for sticking with my little ramble. And I got a couple little videos, short little ones, and some other things we're going to do tonight. But it is sure good to see everyone here. With that said, I wanted to put up Verna's comment. And so Verna was saying in the last 2 weeks, she's hatched 41 chicks. And I'm assuming that's the quail chicks there. That's what she does, is quail and koi. And that is awesome, Verna. That is so cool. So yeah, the quail, as I've said, I really need to do a big cull and get a bunch of eggs and redo my flocks. They're just pretty old. I've put that off with doing the chickens. And in one of my little segments tonight, I'll get into the animals, the Quail Shack chat part, and talk a little bit about that. And so when we get over there, but I've been doing the chickens right now, and I didn't want to do chickens and quail at the same time. I would be a little more comfortable with that now that I have kind of the infrastructure built to do it. Quick side tip, I guess, is with going into backyard homesteading or getting backyard chickens or quail or anything like that. I do suggest building the coop and the infrastructure and things first that you think you need. I kind of went along with it as I went. A good comment, though, the tip I want to put out there, I saw in someone else's video: quail math, chicken math, garden math, homesteading math, these things are problems. They're real. So when you build a chicken coop, a quail coop, or anything like that, their tip was to go for 3 times the size that you think you're going to need. And I agree with that. So do that. So Verna hatched out a lot. She is really rocking it. She's a good example of what I like to show on this channel and this stream, is really just doing the things and putting into practice what we need to do, whether it be for health or better way eating, better way of living, or it be for preparedness side or homesteading side, or a little mixture of everything a little bit there. It's the way to do it. And so Verna was saying transitions and growth is always great. Yeah. She is busy. Verna is saying soon her 3rd cookbook will be out. Oh, I need to put that up. And Verna, I need to get your cookbooks. I do apologize, but I need to get those. Everything pickled. I like that. So I will certainly get them. Were you doing the physical copies of the books, or is it the PDF format there? I think I saw when I looked at it that you were doing the PDF. But yeah. And then I saw Renegades in here. It's good to see you as well. I hope you're doing all right. Enjoying the warmer but windy weather here in New Mexico. I think we're finally out of our last frost, at least where I'm at. So now we've been doing a lot in the garden. I've really been hitting it hard. Now we did have some stuff that overwintered. I have one plant that I'm going to use today already, and that is, we'll get to that in a bit here. And then, of course, garlic and red winter wheat and onions and those things that overwintered will be coming up soon. But now we are getting out. So this year I've decided to do a little bit more gardening by the Farmer's Almanac and some things I research. I guess I've always thought as superstitious type things, but there might be something to some of these things. So anyways, I planted root crops when the moon was growing, right? Yeah, when it was getting brighter, and then the leafy greens when it was getting not as bright. So we've been doing a lot of that. Got cabbage in and some of the ones that can deal with the cooler nights. Here in New Mexico, it is still getting pretty cool at night, down in the high 30s or even without that frost, or low 40s. So let's see. You can get them at My Shire Farms. Okay, PDFs. So everyone go over to My Shire Farms and pick up Verna's cookbooks. Oh, and Verna's saying okay, I got it, Verna. I'll do that. Well, let's hop into tonight just a little bit. And so let's see. I'm going to hop in first with just a little look around. Speaking of our garden, now my wife had followed me and filmed me and Casey explaining some things going on around the yard. Not everything, but just some things. The sound came out horrible. We are an urban homestead, so there's just a lot of background noise. So I decided to put music and cut that sound and just kind of speed it up. There is a lot of trash that blows over our wall, again, being urban homestead and stuff. With the recent high winds. And so there's some of that and some torn things I need to take down. So really what I'm focusing on now is getting it cleaned up more, pulling off the ground cover that I had done, building the raised beds, and getting the plants in. So the yard is a mess. It kind of always is. And I was kind of discouraged by that. My wife encouraged me and said, if we have a farm, it's going to be a mess. And she's right. And so stop trying to hide that, but we'll play this short, I think it's 2-minute little video. Verna, you have collard greens and garlic planted. That is awesome. So did you just plant the garlic, or is it been planted? I thought you said maybe you had it planted. You repurposed store-bought collard greens. Man, see, that is doing the things. That's what you got to do. All right, well, I'm going to play this little video here real quick. I'm going to mute myself. Okay, there we go. Well, that looked really, really choppy to me. Hopefully the video's not choppy to you guys. I'll tell you what, though, I had more trouble trying to get these little videos made tonight. I actually had a lot more planned and footage I wanted to put in there, but I really need to upgrade the computer I do it on. It just was not wanting to work at all, and my internet seems to be giving me issues too. Anyways, Anywho, hope it's okay, and I hope it was choppy. Yeah, sorry. Hopefully the rest of it's not. I guess it wouldn't be a live stream without technical issues. Unfortunately. But yeah, the computers that I have, I do it on is it's really old, and I really need to upgrade some things on it. But it was great seeing Casey out in the garden. Verna was saying, it was him and Jen were out there planting all kinds of little things today and starts. And you just saw some little shots kind of there of the garden, but a lot of things are getting going. I'm rebuilding some of those raised beds and getting some good things planted. More so, what I'm doing is learning the skills, and my family's doing, of how to grow the things. There's a lot more to it than just throwing the seeds in the ground and stuff. So we're learning how and when to grow red winter wheat or garlic or cabbage, or when to plant different things, all that great stuff. And so yeah, Verna's saying she did have that garlic. That's right, your neighbor did. I'm sorry, Verna. Get your sweet taters. So I did, yeah. And so that was one of the things I showed in the video that I don't think showed. Maybe I can do that in the morning, but I did. I got my sweet potatoes in, got them planted in a couple of different areas, got Gold Rush potatoes planted. And so that's what was in those raised beds that are taller. And one of the reasons I did that is I'm doing these raised beds anyways, but with doing it that way, I figure I can put a tarp in front and then pull the slats up when it's time to pull the dirt out and get the potatoes out, the Gold Rush ones there. And then I have a bunch of those bags as well. And I actually got 3 new bags yesterday as a gift. I'm super excited to fill, and there'll be sweet potatoes in those bags. And so the soil's real low in them, because with potatoes, I keep on saying potatoes now. With potatoes, what you want to do is plant them with the soil real low, let them grow up a little bit, and then cover more soil all the way up pretty much. And then they'll grow more, and then you put more soil. And the reason you do that is they'll grow little tubulars all along that stem and create a bunch. I also have peanuts will be going in hopefully in the next few days. We put in a lot of beans, the cabbage is in, broccoli goes in probably tomorrow. We got garden peas in, spinach, parsnip, motherwort is the first plant that we harvest. Of course, the onions, the garlic, the red winter wheat. I put in market cucumbers and then some cucumbers for the birds. We also got in fennel, chamomile, lemongrass, some carrots. I don't know, a bunch of stuff. Doesn't look like it, but I'm really excited. The yard will fill up. So that's kind of a little bit of a garden segment of my chat tonight. And let's see. That is what was behind the fence. So the sweet potatoes were, so they were in the back area in front of the wheat. They're planted there. There's some of them planted in a pot, which I don't know if you can container grow sweet potatoes, but I'm going to try. So there's some in that one. And then I have some more I'm going to plant in the main front garden as well. I want to plant kind of everything in almost 3 different areas. And if it's different varieties like cucumbers, keep the varieties further apart. Part of this year, what we're doing is we've practiced a lot with seed saving. We want to continue that. We're learning a little bit more about the companion planting this year, as well as I want to narrow down what varieties work for us. And then that way we're not getting a bunch of hybrid plants. It's easier to seed save and things like that. Doing some of that. And then Verna says you can use straw with the gold potatoes on top. So this year, one thing I did do with my garden is I insulated straw on everything to help with the moisture and everything. And then when I go and put more soil, I just leave that there. So there's going to be a lot of layers of straw. I know the potatoes you can do just in a straw bale. I have a really small car. I still don't have a trailer. I really don't have a way of getting a straw bale here yet. I'll get a truck soon, hopefully. But for now, it's a challenge. And so I have used the straw, though, on everything. And so I'll be mixing that in. And that's how you do it. You got to learn. So anyways, let's go ahead and hop into, I don't even know how many people are in here or not. Looks like I got 4 thumbs up though. So if you haven't done thumbs up, do that. That helps. Thank you very much. So good to see everyone. I really did miss chatting, but let's hop into our next little segment here. And this will be the first plant we harvested. So I'm going to play a short little video and then we'll do something here. Motherwort. Motherwort is a perennial herb that grows small pink flowers and large green leaves. It is a member of the mint family and is native to Asia and southeastern Europe. Although it now grows worldwide, motherwort is thought to have medicinal value in the following areas: reducing the risk of heart disease, treating symptoms of menopause and menstruation, reducing anxiety, and treating high blood pressure, among others. Supplemental facts. Active ingredients. A whole bunch of stuff I can't say, but you may read there. Let's see. It is legal and sold over the counter in the United States. Suggested dose. There is no suggested dose for motherwort, with side effects occurring at doses over 3 grams a day. So safety considerations: generally considered safe. May cause an upset stomach or mild side effects. Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Motherwort. Okay, and I think that one was choppy too. Sorry about that. Technical issues. One of these days we won't have those, but I will work on that for next week's stream. But yeah, no, good point. Vernon is saying, so if it's for high blood pressure, those with low blood pressure may not want to use it. Now, this is a good time for me to say I'm not a medical doctor. I don't give any kind of medical advice or anything like that. Most certainly you should do research. And yeah, there are some cautions. I think low blood pressure was one. If you're on a lot of heavy sedatives, I think was one. If you're pregnant, probably don't want to use it. Now, what I'm going to talk about why I'm showing it and what I'm going to do with it. But this is just kind of what I'm doing. So I chose to showcase this plant. It is one of the first ones that I've been able to harvest kind of out in the garden so far. One of them. And I thought it was borage for a long time. My wife did some research and found out it's called motherwort. It's in the mint family. Now, it can give you upset stomach or diarrhea or things like that if you have too much of it. There's different ways to use it, dried or just like this. Now, let me go ahead and see if I can do this. And so there we go. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a tincture. And so my goal with this is a tincture to be used as kind of like a stage fright thing when you're having high anxiety. When I'm doing that, also it's good for menstrual cycles and things like that. So my wife might want to try some in the tincture form, and then also possibly some other people I know that have some blood pressure things. Anyways, it is something I'm going to try. and personally and doing the tincture form. Now, again, not medical advice. You do what you do. This is what I'm going to do. There's two ways you can make this tincture. Now, the traditional way, you're going to use alcohol, a high proof alcohol like Everclear, something like that. This is the best, most effective way to do it. And again, when you take it in a tincture, I would only be doing 2 or 3 drops under the tongue here or there. And so the alcohol ones are the best way. I don't have any on hand, and I don't buy things Saturday, so I didn't go out and get any. But that's okay. There's another way you can do it, and I thought about showing this one as well. So if you don't, I don't drink. I have nothing against it, but I don't. If you don't drink, now I still will use a tincture. It's not drinking, and I have enough control there that that's not a problem. However, if I'm using it a little more often, maybe for anxiety or something like that, I probably wouldn't want to use an alcohol one. So the second way you can do the tincture is with vinegar. It's not nearly as effective, and it doesn't last as long. So you probably want to refrigerate it after you've set it up. You can use a white vinegar, any kind. I chose to use an apple cider vinegar, but the steps are the same either way. And so I'm going to take my motherwort, and let's see some comments here. So Mr. Landfill sounds like good stuff, and then a good point, Verna, there. Yep. So it all depends on what it is doing to your body to lower the blood pressure. So yes, research first and proceed with caution, most certainly. And so do your research, proceed with caution. Now with these short segments I do on the Saturday Night Live, I kind of just wanted to do a small little thing. And then again, my goal is to take this little segment and expand upon that in a video this week where I'll go into a little bit more on it. It's a little easier for me to do it in a video format where I can edit it and whatnot. And some more of the precautions and things. So again, just something I wanted to show. Could you dry it and make a tea, or would that reduce its effectiveness? Mr. Landfill saying, oh yeah, or reduce it. So from what I understand, in teas, yeah, drying it is going to be better. I think that's actually more effective, I believe. If you're doing it in a tincture or something, you want to use it just like this, and from what I understand. And so to get best results, chop it up. And what I want to do is take my clean, sterile jar here, and I'm using a small jar because I am going to make the alcohol version later as well. But you want to fill it up about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way full with the plant matter. A tea would be something to look into, though. And certainly I would do more research with that first, especially because with most of my teas, I do that with my son. And so I do know motherwort, you don't want too much of it. So it's not like a chamomile or something like that. It is going to be more or less medicinal. There are a lot of other purposes for it as well. So I believe there's other topical ways you can use it. But that is something I'll have to research in a video this week. And so that's going to help me with organization a little bit too, and give me a set clearer goal as to what kind of video I'm going to make, so I don't get a whole lot of them out. There we go. So I'm going to fill this about 3/4 of the way. Kind of pack down. And then you're going to want to cover it with either the alcohol or, in this case, the vinegar, all the way up. The rest of the fill the jar the rest of the way up. Ooh, I made a mess. And put the lid on. And you're going to want to set for a day. You can do it longer, certainly. With alcohol, that's a little bit better. With the vinegar, not quite as long. If it does grow any mold, like with the vinegar, you just scrape that off. It's fine. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge. And what I'll use is just a tincture of a few drops. And I'm going to start personally trying it for anxiety, because that's something I do face, and using it like that a little bit. I'm going to do research. This video I plan on making on Thursday. So throughout the week, I'm going to do a lot of research, more research on it. I picked this plant again because it's one of the first ones I had that I could harvest and do something with. So Verna's saying teas are great for the dosage, but again, do your research. Some herbs have various limits when using as a tea. Great point. So I have this, I'm going to let it sit for a day. And then when I do my and I'm going to do an alcohol one tomorrow. And then when I do the video Thursday and put that out, hopefully Thursday evening or Friday, it will incorporate some of my usage of it throughout the week. Matt, you should have used a knife to move it around to get the bubbles out. Oh, okay. Yep. Thank you, Verna. Full of such good, useful information. So I don't have one on hand right now, but as soon as I get off the stream, I will do that. And I'm actually going to put my little weight on it too to hold it down that I use for fermenting. So good point. Hey, Renegade saying, I like to muddle your fresh herbs when making tinctures. Oh, that's awesome. So I've actually have never made a tincture before. This is going to be my first shot at it. And so when I was, this purpose of this segment is to showcase a plant every week is what I want to do since I have so many. So a lot of them will be vegetables and things like that. This one I just picked for this. But when I looked at doing it and I have it fresh, of course, first thing I thought was tea. The first thing that came up when I did the little bit of research I did was the tinctures and what they're good for. And I thought, oh, well, this is some issues kind of with some things in my life right now. So that's something I'm going to try. But that will be out later in this video, this week in the video. Mr. Landfill saying, had a lens replacement Thursday. Can read your computer for the first time in years without glasses. Oh, wow. The other eye will be next Thursday. Mr. Landfill, that's great. So lens replacement. Wow. Okay. That is awesome. I've always wanted to get LASIK. My vision's pretty bad, so I don't know. I haven't even looked into it really. It's expensive, but man, to be able to see and read that screen, that is awesome. So I am celebrating with you and we are celebrating with you. That is cool, man. Yeah, that'll be that's cool. You can see it now, but man, once you got them both, that's going to be really cool. So when I went to get my glasses, my new glasses, which I don't do that as often as I should either, I told the eye doctor, I can't see the moon. It's blurry. I want to see the moon. And I've talked several times on my stream about how I love to look at the moon. So that was my goal, and it's still kind of blurry, but all right, cool. So that was the plant garden chat part of the stream that I'll expand upon this week with our motherwort tincture. So another thing I want to do, and this again, I'm going to show the short little opening clip. Hopefully it's not choppy. If so, we'll get it fixed for next week. And then I'm going to give a little bit of a disclaimer or talk about it. Reason being is this is something that can sometimes scare some people. It should not. And the way I go about it should not at all. And so before we get into that, I'm going to hold up my journal I use for some of this stuff and plan on using more with organization. And so that is my Don't Panic journal. So the next part of this stream, and it's something I want to talk about because it's something I think is very important. It's also part of the reason I do all the things I do. Now, I take a very different approach to it than most people, and I'll explain that a little bit here. And so first, let me play this little opening. All right, there we go. So this next little segment, I decided I would call life insurance, and I may change that, but this is my preparedness segment. Now, when I look at preparedness, or how I see it, is kind of, I guess, like the Boy Scout view of just being prepared for everything. When I go to a soccer game with my kid, there's a certain level of preparedness I have. I bring sodas, I bring waters, drinks, snacks, things like that. When you live in an area that could have tornadoes or hurricanes, there's a certain level of preparedness you have for that. It's a normal thing. And so I don't like certain terms because I think some people think of it as hoarding or doing things out of fear. First and foremost, I want to state nothing is out of fear. When I look at preparedness, really it ties into all the other things I want to do. And I see it from its roots, really, and then that is in homesteading. It's in growing and raising better food for healthier lifestyle. It creates a lot of good interactions with the family and helps grow the family there in many ways. And then that also gives me a little bit of self-sufficiency and a steady stream. So there's multiple ways I go about this. I think it's important. I think it's something everyone should do. And whether that be that I truly get to my goal in off-grid homesteading, and I need to be prepared in that I have things set aside between growing seasons to get me from season to season. Or if someone loses a job, or inflation goes way up, or something happens again, like what happened a few years ago at the beginning when I really didn't want to be out at the store. It's good to have things on hand. So this segment I call life insurance because it's really, that's how I look at it. Some insurance into life. And so it lowers stress working outside. Yeah. And so, and it's really just being prepared for whatever. And so in this segment, this is where I will showcase things like the mylaring, mylar bagging, rice, or vacuum sealing the jars with the pump, or some different things like that, just to hopefully show a little bit of what I'm doing and encourage people in some ways. Now, this week's is just a real light thing, something I want to show just real simple that I've been doing. And this is primarily, I guess, really to prepare for inflation, or different things like that. It's something easy that I can do now. I have the room to store it, so that's important as well. And so Verna says, like I always say, think about how you can do something instead of focusing on what you can't do. That is great. I love that, Verna. So let me grab this real quick. This week, I wanted to talk a little bit about the vacuum sealing. And this isn't about food or other things that I've talked about before. That's just my vacuum sealer and the bags. And so what I've decided to do here is I'm at a point where my size and clothes isn't going up and down too much. It stays within about 3 sizes. So those are different things that I'm focusing on. And right now, shopping at Walmart or places like that is fairly inexpensive. That's where I get a lot of my jeans and socks and things like that. Anyways, now I've noticed it's getting more expensive. Inflation goes up. Depending on world events or, the million things that can happen that can bring bad stuff into your life or hard times, could cause some possible interruptions in stock or things like that. Regardless, this is something I can do now that will only get more expensive. It won't be cheaper. And I can do within 3 sizes that and store. I have the room for that. And so that will only help me later. And so what I've decided is I'm going to go with some of the things such as jeans, socks, thermal underwear, and shirts. And I'm going to store my size range within 3 sizes of those items and put them away. I'm going to put them on the shelf. And my goal is to do a couple years worth of those clothes so I'm not having to buy them. Go out. Hopefully it will save me a little bit of money and a little bit of stress of just not having them on hand. Now, this is a lighter preparedness thing. Of course, this isn't water or food or some of the heavier ones that we'll get into. But I'm going to take this and expand, this short segment in a video later this week where I will do it and I'll talk a little bit more about it. So what I've done is I've just gotten a bin here and I've taken my vacuum sealer and let me pull one out. I went and I got, now this is over the course, I bought these over the course of probably 6 months. So, about $12 a piece. Some of them are large sizes I have that I don't fit in anymore. So they're still great condition, not torn or anything like this pair. And I've labeled this. Oh, my son helped me label it. So this is actually smaller. So this is a size 30. I'm not in anymore. And I'm going to do a tub for each size. But in it, what I'm going to do is jeans. They're vacuum sealed so they don't take a lot of room. Moisture and moth will not get to them. I got a 6-pack of socks there. And then we got some wool socks and thermal underwear. I'm going to expand this into sizes and add shirts and things like that. But this is just something simple I can do. that I can set aside. And so, I'm not going to run out of clothes. And again, I can start doing this for my family as well. The kids are a little harder because it takes rotation there. I probably wouldn't vacuum seal them, but this is long-term clothes storage. So when I get holes and things, I can pull one out. My clothes do last me pretty long, but then I don't have to worry about that. That's something if I come into either financial hard times later in life or something like that, at least I got some clothes on hand. So a lighter preparedness thing, but something nonetheless. Life insurance. And so let's grab a couple comments here. Some verse saying, yeah, prices go up, quality goes down. There's actually a lot of issues I see. And so I'm doing a lot of other things that I'll show. This again is this lighter thing, but it is something I've thought about. Actually, I was watching Alaskan Prepper over there, and he was talking about how, maybe taking your money out of the fiat currency and putting it into tangible things. I know Southern Prepper 1 talks about buying garden tools, and he was talking about getting dish soap, or if you have a couple years worth of these things, of course, food and water first, but those type of things, that's only going to save you in the long run in prices, in quality, and quantity. If you can now, you might as well get some of those things. Don't forget to sewing kit. That's okay. Here we go. So I have a lot of sewing things. I actually have a little bit of background in selling suits and some tailoring. I can sew and repair clothes, believe it or not. So I have a lot of sewing things, but just this week I thought I need to get little sewing kits to put in like my car thing. So this is just a little one I got to stick in my car. And I'll put canvas thread and I'll change some stuff out. But that's funny you said that. That's something that's been on my mind this year too, or recently here too. You got a sewing machine out again and been repairing cloth. Mr. Landfill, you can sew too. That's awesome. Great skill. Absolutely. So that is cool. So yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. I got a hole in my sock, and that's actually what spun that part of thought of storing some clothes, extra things on hand, and then about repairing them as well. And so I'm gonna put a sewing kit in each bin as well. But I need to start thinking in those lines more of not everything just being disposable. Instead of buying cheap things, which some of these are, but still buying some higher quality things and then repairing them the way people used to do, really. So I've said a couple times, and my wife was watching Little House on the Prairie, and I really don't watch TV. It's hard to get me to sit down and watch TV, sometimes movies. But I really, really enjoyed watching that show and how they were starting homesteading and things, basically. Anyways, don't forget first aid kit. Nope, I got those all over too. So I guess I'm throwing plugs out all over the place, but Refuge Medical is a great company. So some of the things I do spiritually are on that side too, is I try and observe Sabbath and whatnot. And so I don't want to work on Saturdays. I have a couple other things like that. So when I'm looking at jobs and what I want to do, that does definitely throw a stick in the gears there sometimes. And so I've been thinking lately, what I really need to give me more time with my family to allow me to do the urban homesteading and stuff is more of a work from home job. So that's why I'm trying to move in that direction in several different ways. And well, I got way off on a tangent there. Anyways, you picked up some canvas to make some pouches and maybe a backpack or two. How cool. So yeah, I made some pouches for people. Let me grab my water. Some things like that. Oh, first aid kits. That's what I was talking about. So I want to get one of those Refuge Medical ones. He has his own company, and that's what they do. And he fought, if you haven't watched Bear Independent, great channel. I agree with a lot of what he says. He's kind of rough around the edges, but anyways, eventually I'd like to start a company where I can not only support myself, but offer other people a job where they can still observe things they would like to as well. That's the goal. But so I want to get my sewing kit through Refuge Medical. They are kind of expensive, so I've been saving up, and that's for my main that would be for an IFAC. And so I don't have one of those, but that was really cool, Mr. Landfill. You learn something new about people every day, huh? So let's see. We did the garden chat with Matt segment with the motherwort. We did the life insurance segment here with my little preparedness section. And then the last one, or the next one I wanted to do, we'll do at the end of the stream. And that's going to be showcasing the animals or something like that. So that's the Quail Shack Chat part. And that will be where I talk about something with the quails or the chickens or whatever it may be at the time. And talk a little bit about that, and then take that and expand it in a video that later this week as well. Mr. Landfill, I picked up some sugar real cheap and learning to use it. What are you using the sugar for? Oh, Surger. Surger, okay. What's Surger? I don't know what that is. Let me see. Oh, okay, for sewing. Well, you give me all kinds of things. Oh, yeah. Okay, sewing. It's the type of the sewing machine. Yeah. All right, sorry. I got you. Very cool. Yeah, so I can use a sewing machine. I prefer to do things by hand. It doesn't come out quite as neat, but there's a few stitches I like. I guess I like doing everything the hard way. But yeah. So my wife has a sewing machine. I really need to practice up on those skills and things more here. So maybe we'll showcase a little bit of that. It's been a long time since I've done any of that. So good advice here. We got the first aid kit advice, making sure we have that. So I have first aid kits in the bug out bags. I actually have, I don't want to show, I do want to show some creative angles in where I'm at. And we'll show this on one of the streams and showcase it. But I have a whole shelf that I have primarily with medical supplies that are in bins with red lids. They're all labeled differently for what they are. And that's my main household medical area. And I'll show that maybe next week. That'd be neat to do. Then, of course, I have my kits and all the bug out bags. I have a bigger medical thing. This is something that I have, but I really need to go through. My family uses stuff, which is great, but I run out and don't know. Part of my organizational problems is I'm not really good about the taking stock and replenishing. So that's something I need to work on. Darning. Okay, so to repair socks, sweaters. Well, I was looking at my sock when I thought about it. Mr. Landfill, 2 needle, 4 thread, keeps the 2 needles, 4 threads, keeps cloth from fraying. Big projects like tents. Okay. Yeah. These are a lot of skills I really need to work on more too. I have so many projects going on. So I need to finish up what I got. But I'm hoping with doing the videos like this and segmenting them out and then focusing on one thing in each area every week will help. There are videos that teach you about darning. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do that. That is awesome. So much good information. So let's see. How long have I been on here? Why is my thing not showing me? Hello, everybody. You need to go out? Please, let's take the dogs back out, okay? What? We'll show that tomorrow, okay? Here, let's go, puppies. Out. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. He's supposed to be in bed. All right, let's see. How long have I been on? 50 minutes. All right. So I plan on about an hour. Actually, this was the picture I used for my thumbnail. I really, really like this picture. This is kind of a focus on this year, and that's, pulling away the past and moving on to what we're doing here. So anyways, 49 minutes, Mr. Landfill says, okay, cool. All right, awesome. So the last part here, we're going to show the animals. And this week, everything was kind of really light as I'm getting back into it. Next week, we'll go a little bit heavier. But what I'm going to do this week is we're going to do a new camera method. I'm using my phone here. Now, this is a harness I got from my brother. And he gave me a cool camera as well. I just haven't learned how to stream that one yet. And so what I'm going to be doing is using this chest plate camera. And I'm going to do a simple chore tonight that I do with the birds right now, at least every night. And that is I'm going to move the new baby birds inside the quail shack and put them back in their coop. That is so that I'm trying to keep a schedule that they go inside at night. That way, when I incorporate them with the others, they'll learn that. And then we're going to move Nikki into the area they're in. So you're going to join me tonight for this little chore. It is a mess in the quail shack, so I'm going to apologize for that right now. And I'm going to put this camera on, and we are going to try this out. Now, I have technical issues like crazy, obviously. And I just lost a strap. But hopefully we can get this to work out. And since I normally close with walking out of the quail shack, that little video, tonight we're going to close with it this way. And so first, let me see if I can flip the camera around. All right, let me do this. And everyone's going to have to bear with me. We don't use the second floor at work. I have a sewing equipment set up there. Oh, okay, how cool. Well, that's neat. All right, let me figure out how to flip my camera around. I think I might need to exit out and come back. That's cool. So they let you at work set it up and do it there. That's really neat. See, I need a job like that. I'm not complaining. All right. So let's see. How do I flip this camera around? Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it facing front. Oh man, there's a bunch of cameras. Let's do this one. All right, I think I got it. And bear with me. Enter the studio. Put the camera on my chest. That way, everybody, there we go. Now, I'm going to cover it just to give some privacy as I walk through my house. I hope everyone is okay with that. And so I'm going to click off this camera. We're going to head out there. Now, I won't have my computer or anything like that, so I may not see comments. And I'm probably going to end after I talk there. So let's see. So nice you have a designated area. Okay, yep. All right, well, I'm just going to kind of say bye to everyone now, but I'm not leaving. I'm just because I won't have the chat. Yep. So CDB is saying, remember to smash that like button. I'm actually going to play my little like and subscribe now. And I'm going to say, hey, thank you to Renegade Black Sheep, to Verna there, Mr. Landfill, to CDB, anyone else that may be in here that I didn't see or is in here later. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy to be back. We will be back 10 a.m. tomorrow and morning Mountain Time for the Garden Tea with Casey. That'll be a little bit shorter and a little different than we have been doing, but do plan on that. And then schedule should resume like normal. There'll be those videos I promised out this week. I might throw a random live in there of the moon or something. And then, of course, next week at the same time. So blessings, everyone, but don't leave. Follow me with the body cam there while we showcase the little chickens and put them away. So first, let's play that like and subscribe just to remind everyone.
Remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
The
party pooper.
Oh, there was no sound there either. So I'm going to cut my sound on this for just a second. We'll try and get this right. And then I'm going to talk and let me know if you guys can hear me. There we go. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me now? Now you have sound. Okay. I'm going to walk through the house. Everyone stick with me here. The sound is back on. Awesome. 5x5. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so we'll maintain a little bit of personal privacy here. I walk through this house. It's dark. Hopefully I don't fall down. There we go. The puppy's going to follow me out. Come on. I'm going to pull the book away in just a moment here. All right, let's see. So hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing there and hear me, and hopefully I don't drop out on that sound. And we're going to come out and we're going to move the little birds around. There's a mess in here. What everyone's doing. There's the cage that they're going to go in, and they're just sleeping in here. And I'll come out in the morning and move them so they don't need a lot. Okay. Oh, and let's turn that light on. It looks like I was trying to catch it in time, but all right. There we go. Turn that light back on. And so they're hanging out back here. Look, they all like to be up on the trash can. Hopefully it's not too low light. And they're going to fight me. Yeah, it's okay. Look how big they're getting. They're going to be heading out there with the other flock here very shortly. Don't fight me. There we go. And oh, come on. What? Most of them are pretty good. One of them really doesn't like being handled. Go. Go. Ow. And then we'll move Nikki back in because this is her nesting box. Nikki will want, she's probably sitting out there now, on the other side of that door. We'll take a look in just a moment. Okay. There we go. And we're gonna walk them in, shut this, and we're gonna come around. And I gotta walk through this temporary net. Yep, there's Nikki. She is ready. She says, let me in. Let me in. So unlock this. She knows what to do. Other side. Other side. Come on. There you go. She'll run off into there. She'll hang out for a minute. So normally that white light would be off. The red light's on to give them some room. That's in their coops, in the quail shack, and all outside areas, just so they have a little bit of time to move around before the lights go completely out. So that's actually in here as well. You'll see that red light came on, and that's because these main ones are about to go off. So I'm going to stand in here for a minute, pull the camera around, look at it, say goodbye to everyone, and then these lights should click off, well, in a minute or two. There we go. Well, hopefully everyone saw some of that. I really enjoyed being back. I enjoyed talking to everyone, seeing everyone, and I'll catch you guys in your streams if you have them. Otherwise, next week. So hit like and subscribe. Stay strong. Do the things. Make it happen. Till next time.